everything goes wrong, all the sorts of things we've been talking about today escalate into bigger problems than they are, how does a war in basic terms between China and the West play out in the modern world?
Well, I can't see that there would be any victors except as a result of enormous prices paid by the adversaries. I think we can say that pretty readily. These two militaries, if we just to speak of the United States and China, are enormously well armed, have nuclear weapons, of course, and it's not unthinkable that it could escalate to that level, sadly. So I think to begin with, we should recognize that if that were to happen, it would just be real devastation. And on a scale, I think, that probably great powers had not fought since World War II. But now, of course, with all the bells and whistles and new technologies and ways of killing and destroying that were unimaginable 80 years ago. So it won't end well if that's what we get to. Short of that sort of all-out conflict, it's probably, if the two are going to come to blows, it would probably, it could be limited. It could be limited to some sort of skirmishes, probably around territorial matters, whether that's Taiwan or maybe in defense of Japanese islands, which repeated American governments have said do fall under the Mutual Defense Treaty between the United States and Japan, which, best case scenario, if we get to that, a skirmish, yes, lives lost, reprisals made on both sides, and then a pullback, from the edge. But that's going to even if it was a low-level conflict, it would profoundly and almost irreversibly alter the nature of the relationship in a way that would be extremely difficult to roll back. So I don't know if that answers your question quite, but if there's going to be a conflict, I suspect it will be something around the near seas of China, and more likely than not having to do with an American defense commitment, either to a country like Japan or the Philippines, or which are treaty-based commitments, or to Taiwan, which is not a treaty-based commitment, but nevertheless a pretty strong security commitment to come to the defense of Taiwan, without stipulating exactly what that would mean. But it could easily escalate into something like real war between the United States and China.
And the final question